From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, August 6th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.27 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,259 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 3.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,190. Antiwar.com reports continuing to hype the threat posed by North Korea, despite their two ICBM tests being eventually conceded to both be failures. National Security Adviser H.R. McMaster insisted that the U.S. is fully prepared to launch a preemptive war against North Korea to prevent them from threatening the United States. The threat is with heavily fictionalized versions of North Korea's missile program, but McMaster appears undeterred about the war, saying he wasn't going to confirm if North Korea really had missiles that could reach the U.S. before incredibly adding, I mean, how much does it matter? One would think it matters a lot, since estimates are that a war with North Korea could kill in excess of 1 million people, destroy large portions of South Korea's capital of Seoul, and create a region-wide refugee problem in East Asia. McMaster acknowledged that the war would be costly, but again, that did not appear to separate his assessment that the U.S. is prepared to attack North Korea preemptively to destroy a missile program that largely doesn't work would be a legitimate use of force, saying it would depend on the legal justifications U.S. officials could manage to put together. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports California Governor Jerry Brown said he would support his state suing the federal government over the Trump administration's threat to withhold grant money from so-called sanctuary cities that do not comply with federal immigration policy. Brown, speaking in an interview to be aired Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press, said legislation being considered in the California legislature would not make it the nation's first sanctuary state. Instead, he said the legislation, which he has not decided whether to support, would prevent law enforcement in California from abetting abuse of federal power. Earlier this week, the Department of Justice repeated their threat to withhold grant money from cities that they claim are actively trying to subvert the Department of Homeland Security's efforts to deport undocumented immigrants. More than a dozen cities across the country have enacted legislation or drafted policies instructing local police not to question people about their immigration status and not to notify ICE if someone is found to be in the country illegally. Brown said the decision over whether to sue the federal government over the issue would be up to his state's attorney general, but having the dispute before a federal judge would accomplish more than politicians talking past one another. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. Reuters reports in a control room at a police headquarters on Chicago's South Side, officers scan digital maps on big screens to see where a computer algorithm predicts crime will happen next. Thrust into a national debate over violent crime and the use of force by officers, police in the nation's third largest city are using technology to try to rein in a surging murder rate. And while commanders recognize the new tools can only ever be part of the solution, the number of shootings in the 7th District from January through July fell 39% compared with the same period last year. The number of murders dropped by 34% to 33. Citywide, the number of murders is up 3% to 402. One of the technologies being used in the 7th District is Hunch Lab, a predictive policing program made by Philadelphia-based company Azavia. It combines crime data with factors including the location of local businesses, the weather, and socioeconomic information to forecast where crime might occur. Police are tight-lipped about how it is compiled, saying only that the algorithm looks at 8 factors, including gang affiliation and prior drug arrest, to assign people a number between 0 and 500. A higher number reflects a higher risk of crime. They are also using a gunfire detection system made by ShotSpotter, which uses sensors to locate the source of gunshots. Police officials declined, however, to say how many such devices were installed in the 7th District. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.